Hi, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the situation that happened in Atlanta. Over 400 teenagers storm some type of development there. I saw this a few days ago, but I saw it again pop up on Pink Book Lessons. I just want to add my take on it and perspective through the truth on the situation. I want to shout out to the Drakes, the 21 Savages, the Chief Keefs, and all of those people, because those are the people who likely you followed and you have promoted and you have gave your vote to through your attention. Because you don't vote in a ballot in this thing. You vote where you put your attention to. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video and let you know my thoughts after.
Parents could now face charges after hundreds of teenagers caused chaos at the Atlantic station. So this is video. This is from Saturday night showing fights unfolding and customers running for their lives. Police said that they responded to Atlantic station after 7 p.m. when someone set off fireworks and found about 400 unsupervised kids.
What we did not see were parents of any of the 400 juveniles, children that were present. As we continue to address this issue and make adjustments to keep this area safe, we must be joined by parents knowing where their children are, ensuring they are under proper supervision of adults and are abiding by the law.
You know, officers moved the teenagers from Atlantic Station property, pushing them all the way towards the 17th Street Bridge, and that's where police say 2 guns were fired just before 10 p.m. Now, APD says that it actually detained 5 teenagers responsible for firing those weapons. The ages, the youngest one is 14, and then 15, 16, and 17 years old. Now, the department says parents found not have violated the city's ordinance of proper supervision will now face charges.
Good.
And when it comes to Atlantic Station, the CEO says that it enforces a strict youth curfew starting at 3 p.m. The CEO has not addressed how 400 unsupervised teenagers were allowed on the property Saturday night.
And, you know, you really have to peep game in these situations. As far as them being unsupervised, I mean, you're not going to be able to ID everybody. They putting stuff in the food. Genetically, these new generations are looking older. Girls are wearing all this makeup, lashes, lace wigs. They look older than what they are. The other day, I was just in Walmart and I was walking and there was these 2 young girls. I could tell they were pretty young just based off of I guess just like aura. I don't know. I just could tell that they were young. But when she turned around, one of her friends, whatever, she had on 100 pounds worth of makeup. She looked like a 42-year-old woman in the face. Okay. A beautiful 42-year-old, but she looked like a 42-year-old woman in the face, and a teenager, preteen or whatever in the rest of her body. Like, it was crazy. These youths are not this is what the society has promoted, growing up too quickly. I'll say it again. The Chief Keefs, the 21 Savages, the 6ix9ines and all that, all of the same basic bare minimum, don't really have too much talent. Anybody could get on there and spit degradation, okay, and be able to flourish in these industries because they want us to destroy ourselves. But if you are a part of the group or you coming out of that group, we're trying to do better for yourself, all praises to the Most High. But these youths are going crazy. You think that they're going to be able to, that's only a few hundred, 400 teenagers. Imagine 1,000. Imagine 1,000,000. There was a concert, I forgot, Lil Baby or whatever, 21 Savage or whatever the case is. It was NBA Youngboy's concert, by the way. First of all, his name is NBA Youngboy. Like, they declare what they are, little boys, out loud. But people were shook that 10 cars got broken into. Like, he's literally the king of YNs. Like, why would you be shocked? This is the stuff that he's promoting. You're wooty wooty at the concert, woo woo, and then be mad when your car gets broken into. And then there are people that have the nerve that say, oh, just take an Uber or whatever the case is, and you have people in the comments trying to normalize it. Oh, this always happens. Okay, that doesn't mean it's supposed to be going on. But anyway. And there were also like some type of allegation stating that he was going to try to talk less about violence in his concert and stuff like that. Like, why do you need to do that if you don't think there's a problem? If NBA Youngboy himself is saying that he's going to try to, lower down on the violence, why do you think that it's an issue? Is it not an issue? And people will try to call it religious or whatever the case is. Yeah, NBA Youngboy himself expressed regret, okay? He expressed regret about the violent lyrics. He was on stage, okay, and people were throwing stuff, and he said that, yo, this ain't that type of show. What are you talking about? These people like to talk about stuff and then be shocked when people enact the things. Like, it is very important to watch what you talk about. He says he's doing this Mormon thing and, seeking Christ. I'm not talking about all the Mormon stuff and whatever the case is. Y'all gotta do your research to know the truth. The truth is in the King James version, the KJV Bible. Y'all gotta be careful, because just because they say the name Jesus, so-called Jesus, doesn't mean that you have to know what Jesus they serving, it was so-called, and that's a whole nother situation right there. But at least, that shows you that there's something wrong here, and even him is looking back and regretting certain things that he's done, and understanding to an extent, even if it's in ignorance, that there is a creator and that his son unalived and came back to life for our sins. But people want to call it religious, whatever the case is, but the facts are facts, that we will see where I'll insert the clip where they stormed it, or they broke into all the cars. Okay. And I saw this on Pick Book Lessons too. Broke all the car windows, and people were shook. They came back out. Oh no, my car. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to a concert of a man who is the king of YNs. What did you expect? It's like when you try to say certain things, it's like the brain cells, they go in hiding. Like, they're like, oh, we don't want to work today. Well, listen, okay, whether or not your brain cells choose to work, the world is going to go the way that it's going to go, because they're not following the instructions of our Father, our Creator. People won't admit that there is a Creator. You could go and you could be hype over a fancy Audi or Mercedes, and they sign and stamp each engineer that they crafted it, and that a human created that car, created that thing that is designed for us. But you can't admit the whole world that we're in, the mountains, the trees, the trees that produce oxygen for us to breathe, wasn't created by a being. You can't even make this stuff up. People are literally too smart for their own good. Okay, being raised by single moms, being raised in broken families, being raised in these toxic situations is creating these. What do you think they came from? Thin air? If you leave it to the Big Bang Theory, they came out of an explosion. They came out of nowhere. They just came to be. These kids are a product of the times, okay? And that's why they are faltering. That's why they're unhinged. That's why they are evil, okay? Because the devil is in them, unfortunately and tragically. Things can change, but I mean, we already know, according to the Bible and according to God's word, which is always true, he already knows what's going to happen beforehand. It's pretty much doomed for 99 or 90% of the situation. But for those, become a part of those that are rational in this thing, that peep game in this thing. Be a part of the winning team, okay? Because everything else is faltering. The devil is always going to is laughing and loving this, okay? And when they said that there were shots fired, I thought they was talking about the police. It was them. They acting crazy. I remember I was on Uber and I saw two kids at a gas station. And I'm just like looking like, why? They look like they were like 10, 11, 12, all right, maybe 12, 11, preteens. And I'm like, why are y'all here? Yeah, it's, daylight savings and it's whatever, but why are y'all here unsupervised? And they were selling something. I don't know what. They was giggling about something. But it's like a lot of these youths don't know what they in for if they keep on the same path. It's all cute and giggles now until you end up in jail or worse. But with all the destruction, for the parents out there, for the ones that are trying to raise youths in a good situation, I do have a book out. The Most High has put on me to create a book, Melanated and Expecting, basically going over the things that the Most High tried to show me before, during, and after, giving birth, and certain consequences I'm dealing with today, but things that, Could have been worse. So I'm very grateful, and he definitely blessed and protected us, and it is getting better in the mighty name of Christ. Okay. I go over things that you can't really talk about on the internet, epidurals, things that they're trying to put against your youth, biological. Okay. Like, yeah, spiritual, biological is basically the manifestation of the physical, okay, of the spiritual. And that's what they're trying to do to your youth. Okay. This is a biological warfare that we're going on, that's going on, the stuff that they put in our water, all types of different things. But the things that they introduce to your youth from the time that they're in your womb, okay, these are things I go over on in this book. If you want to be edified and support in that type of a way, you can check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. But of course, more importantly, seek the Most High. Okay, I'm grateful that nobody got unalived in this situation, and it easily could have happened. But we have to look at what it is, and it's in black and white. I talk about the facts on this channel. This book that's thousands of years old is literally predicting everything to a T, real time. We could do all the opinions and all the feelings that you want to have in the world. The truth is the truth, and we will see, and we already are seeing. Just to see Christ, we have this opportunity. He's given us this grace period to be able to do this and to seek him and be in eternal bliss with him, serving him, and just giving him all the praise and glory that he deserves. Okay, all praises to the Most High. Stay sober minded on these spiritual streets. Peace.